in the middle of the street. And you know how there's a countdown. So now that shit going 10, 9.
And you like...
I'm trying to pick up.
I thought I saw you late last night in Brooklyn,
I remember one time I went to the Costco and I was in school. I was working like 2 or 3 jobs at the time. And I went to the Costco, and you know at Costco, before you leave, you have to give them the receipt.
I can't afford Costco, so I wouldn't know, but yeah. I imagine, continue.
No, so when we're leaving the Costco, and like I had forgot that you're supposed to show the receipt. So I'm just, walking, minding my business. And then the lady's like, oh, well, you need to show me your receipt. I was like, oh, okay, like here. I leave, and then my friend comes after me. He's like, yeah, like she was switching shifts with somebody else. And then she told the other guy, she was like, yeah, be careful, they're trying to steal. And for me, I think it wasn't like the first time I had ever encountered something like that, but it was just kind of like, I worked hard for my money. I feel like that was the first experience where, because like when your parents are like, yeah, I work hard for my money. Like that was the first time I felt like I work day in, day out.
Yo, you go to the supermarket, your mom be like, don't touch nothing.
Right.
Don't look at nothing.
And I understand
and I get it. Yo, I swear to God. Don't put nothing in my cart.
Right.
I'm not paying for it.
Right.
But then you start appreciating, like, how did my parents do this?
Because it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's too much.
Right.
It's way too much. No, same thing. Like, my mom, single mom, for my sister and I. And not only did my mom put herself through college, when we were already, I was like 4 or 5 years old. My sister was a little bit older. So, like, that's a young age. Take us to school, go to work, take us with her to night classes, then go home, make dinner, get us ready for bed, right. Do it all over the next day. And I get home from work and I'm like, I'm not even
anything.
Bro, I won't even eat. Like I'm having pretzels for dinner. Like I'm not doing this.
And you know what? I feel like it's a difference. Obviously, with our parents, it came from a place of like, I don't really have no other choice.
Yeah, it's survival. Mm-hmm.
And I'm really grateful because of that. I feel like we've been put in a position where, yeah, to some extent it's survival, but also there's a level of self-discovery that comes with it that just, I don't think that like our parents necessarily really had the opportunity to have.
They didn't. At all.
Which, that's why I feel like now that I've been afforded this opportunity, like, I would be like remiss if I really did not take advantage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, right. So for me, it's funny because you know my mom.
Yeah.
My mom is funny because my mom. Yo. So my mom just turned 52, like 4 days ago. I was gonna say last week. It was literally like just a couple days ago.
She don't look a day over 40.
I was like, how young you gonna go? But so just turned 52, and from the moment my mom turned 50, it was like a light lit up in her that we had never seen. And really? I think, yeah, because so much of that came from the fact that like I had moved out, my sister had moved out, we were grown, we both graduated college, had our own careers, and for her it was like survival mode was off for the first time in her whole life. Like I'm free, so I'm like, what did she do? She got on TikTok.
Right.
She got on Instagram, like she loves to do. And she's just like, she has the most fun that I've ever seen her have. And it's the best thing to watch, like as a daughter. But it also just made me think so much of who I saw growing up. It's not really that it was who she was, but it was who she had to be.
Yeah.
Who she had to be for us. And like, don't get me wrong, she got the job done.
My mother, like, God rest her soul, that's literally the point where I would have loved to see. My mom came here married to her husband with a kid.
Yeah.
So everything in her life has just been, okay, well, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. And like, I think the one time I saw her genuinely happy was when it was her mom, my grandmother's burial. And like Nigerians, we do a party to celebrate life. So it was the party for my grandmother, and to this day, like I would tell you, I think I was probably like, maybe like 19 around then. in the 19 years of my life, I never saw my mother that happy. Like, so going into there and seeing that, I was just like, wow, like, this is what I want for her. The universe has its own plans, and unfortunately, she wasn't able to get there. But like, that's why I'm really happy to hear that about your mom, because I think they deserve.
Oh, 100%.
They deserve every opportunity
Everything, yeah.
to love on themselves, to just do things because they want to, because having a kid isn't easy.
I can't. Yeah, I'm like, I can't imagine. And then I feel like my mom had to get to know me again, like all over again as an adult.
Oh.
Because when I left to college, I was 17, and then when I moved back, I was 21.
Right.
And for her, it's kind of like, you're still a child.
Like, you left one house and now you're just coming back to me.
Exactly. And
There's a gap.
and they have to take a moment to like recognize that I'm not coming back the same person. Like, I am now an adult who has been on my own, like paying rent, traveling the world, like doing all these. I got loans under my name now. You know what I mean?
Like, I'm a whole person.
Exactly. Like, I'm not the same 17-year-old that I was when I left this house. So now coming back, it's like you have to get to know me all over again as an adult, and that was so hard for her.
Honestly, bro, can I tell you,
That was so
like,
hard for her.
that was one of the conversations I had with my mom before she passed. Like, for the longest time, I really did not like coming home, because I felt like
I remember. You never used to come home.
I never used to come
never
home.
used to
I
come
remember
home.
you used to
I would
call
see you
me
like once every 2 years, yo.
Jeez.
I swear.
You used to call me like, yo, like, all right, the next time
Yeah,
you ever.
I'm like, bro, if you ever come back, yeah.
But it was really because, like, I'm not the type of person to just calling you up on the phone and be like,
Yeah.
yo, so this is what happened, and this is what happened, and this is what happened. Like, I'm gonna just take it as it comes. So I remember one day I sat down with my mom and I was like, yo, like, I really don't like coming home, because I feel like there's so much that happens between me being gone and me coming back home that you guys are not privy to, that when I get back home, you think I'm the same person. Especially being on a college campus, like, there's so much that can happen in a day.
Yep. Imagine months,
Right.
semesters, yeah. Nah, for sure.
So I definitely understand what you mean. Like,
It's a lot.
you go and you come back and you're different. And each time that you go and you come back, it's a different change.
Yo, every time. And like, or you be out, like, let's say in school, you could go out to like 3, 4 in the morning. Nobody do you, right?
about?
You go back home, your mom talking about it's midnight, where I'm like, excuse me. I go out whatever time I want, come back whatever time. Like, who are you talking to? And she was very much like,
I tried that. Right. Right. I tried that. I said, well, you don't know what I'm doing when I'm at school. And then my mom go, well, you're in my house now. I said,
Yup.
you know what? You got it.
you got it. Say no more. Nah, it'd be like that. But then also now, the older you get, and like as a family and like having your own kids becomes more of like a potential reality, it's also, I be thinking like, let a little kid say something to me. In my house, I dare you. So now it's like, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I get it. Because can't nobody come into my house where I pay my bills
money.
and I work my ass off to pay this shit. You gonna come in my house and tell
And
me
be
what?
telling me what?
Tell me what? And you gonna eat what I cook too. Cause I worked real hard to buy these groceries, to wash these dishes.
You gonna put them on a vegan diet?
You gonna eat whatever I cook. Talking about, oh, I want McDonald's. I made dinner today.
One of my best friends, she always tells me, like, you know, like, your happiness is a choice. Like, whether or not you're happy today is a choice for you.
Yeah.
Now, of course, are there some like
Granted,
nuances? Right.
And you can't be happy all the time, because then you wouldn't know what happiness is.
Exactly, but like, I think it's more so like your pursuit of happiness is your choice.
It's not the cards you're dealt, it's how you play them.
Exactly. So it's kind of just like, can I take this thing and can I allow it to completely like turn over my day? Again, something I'm still working on.
Yeah.
But like,
And there's no such thing as perfect.
yeah,
though.
nobody will ever be perfect. We're
No.
human, it's who we
Yeah.
are. But I think the goal is always just to get to a place of content, and just knowing that, okay, like, I may not be happy though. That's why I don't like using the word happy. I kind of just like joyful. Like, I feel like happiness and joy, being joyful, is two different things. In the sense of like, I can be joyous about the fact that I'm alive. I can be joyful that I have all these other blessings, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm gonna be happy 24/7.
But then is that not more so being grateful than it is joyful?
And that's fair. That's fair. That's a good way to look at it as well. I think I kind of equate gratitude and
To joy?
joyfulness is like.
So
You know.
I feel like I equate more joy and happiness.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like I would consider that gratitude. So like growing up, immigrant parents, it was always like, but did you die though? Someone got it worse. Oh, you hungry? In my country, they don't got shoes
It's
and they don't
always
got
the next
food for
struggle.
3
It's
days.
always the next
So
struggle.
you should be happy, right?
Right.
But then it's recognizing like beyond that, I'm grateful for everything. But that could still mean I have a bad day, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I can appreciate deeply the apartment that I'm in, the food I have, my family, and still be really sad. Like, those are two things that
And
can
you're allowed
happen.
to feel that way.
Exactly, because again, human, we all go through that.
Because when I think of happiness, I'm always thinking of like, in that moment, like, am I happy? But as opposed to when I think of joy, I think joy is more so like, of a, what's that word? I think joy is a motif.
Don't do too much. Don't do too much.
Joy is like an underlying theme to where like, you know I have joy for the fact that I have all of these things, but am I happy today? No, not necessarily.
Can I search up the definition of joy?
I think we should. Let's talk about it. I mean, I don't have my phone.
Because I'm just like, I don't know. I feel
like the definition of joy and the definition of happiness would probably
so
be
it's the
synonymous.
definition of joy is a feeling of great pleasure and happiness. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like, yeah, like it says delight, great pleasure, joyfulness.
Yeah, I feel like joy and happiness are
But the definition of joy is great happiness or
Right.
pleasure. So that's why I don't think you can separate joy and happiness, because joy is great happiness.
So like I've always felt like happiness was something that you feel in the moment, and joy is like an overall feeling. That's how I've always categorized it too. Now don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I love a little momentary satisfaction. But I think joy is more so what I'm working towards. I don't know. In my head, happiness just seems so short-lived.
I'm not gonna hold you. I think they're like the same. I think joy is just extreme happiness
And I love
and
that for you.
pleasure.
I love that for you.
And for the Webster Dictionary.
You said what?
For the Webster Dictionary too.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. You trying to tell me it's all right. It's okay. Like,
Well, the point is you're working towards that, and that's that's the main story. As long as you're working towards joy. What would you say is maybe one of your earliest moments of feeling happiness or joy, like that you remember?
oh, that is a tough question.
Right? I don't think I've thought about it myself either.
One of the earliest.
I could low-key say mine though while you're thinking.
Yeah, go ahead.
So for me, it's definitely like as soon as I said it, like I had a flashback when most of my aunts and like my mom, my dad, and whatever all migrated to New York City from the Dominican Republic. We all lived in this small apartment in Harlem. So everybody's like crammed into this small apartment, whatever. Obviously because of like the financial struggle and things like that, but from that came such amazing memories. So like my earliest memories in my childhood were like with all my cousins, and we were all in like this tiny apartment, like all sitting at the kitchen table, like eating bologna sandwiches and like playing hide and seek and like wrestling or whatever, you know, like stupid stuff that kids do, but like those are my happiest memories. Like my first kind of happy memories that I remember is like being 3-4 years old and like running up and down the hallway with like 10 of my cousins. Like, it was a lot of us. You know what I mean?
It
Like,
was. It still is.
It still is. I got one thing about me. I got a lot of cousins, but.
And I love that about you.
But that's why we were able to make such like fond memories, and it was fun. Like, it wasn't struggle. It wasn't like traumatic or anything. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't. We were poor. None of that mattered. Like, it was fun. It was fun, and we had the best times. And like, I'm so happy and fortunate that I have those memories with all of them, and like we've been able to still grow up together and like still be close to this day. But like those memories of like eating Cheerios with like orange milk, orange juice.
I know what you mean.
Orange milk, orange juice. Eating Cheerios with like orange juice. And like just trying all the stupid shit we could. Like we'll just
Literally.
try everything because you're kids and that's just what you do. But like that was so much fun for me, and there was pure joy in that. Like going back to what we were talking about, like there was so much pure joy in those moments. It was like nothing else mattered, but like me and my cousins having fun. And like so that was mine. I don't know.
I love that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It gives me hope. It gives me hope for my kids and my sister's kids.
We're gonna put them all in one room. They're gonna get along. They're gonna figure it out one
Y'all
way or
gonna
the other.
fight, but y'all cousins.
Yup. You got the little sleeping bags on the floor. You have a
Right,
good
figure it
time.
out. Figure it out.
Nah, but what about you?
Oh God, I hate to say it, but it was the day I got dropped off for college.
Really?
Yeah.
So I knew you before then. So you wasn't happy when we was hanging out and stuff. In high school, we didn't have not one good time. We wasn't even we were miserable friends. That's what you was telling me.
No, but you know, in high school, like I wasn't really hanging out with nobody for real. Like, like, you know, I was putting in the little lie that I was in tutoring or whatever, but I wasn't in tutoring. I was at the fucking bodega. Like.
Yo, we was at was it Crowns with the cheese fries? Go crazy. Oh, the pizza shop.
Yo,
The pizza shop went
what was the
crazy.
pizza shop on Dykeman?
The
Was
name?
it Johnny's?
Johnny's
That
was on
everybody used to be at after CCNY?
It wasn't. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. No, but honestly, I feel like it
college?
was the day I got dropped off from college, and I remember that day so vividly. Like, my sisters didn't come with me. Like, my sisters came to Wisconsin, but they didn't come with me because I was like, listen, if you about to start crying, I don't need you there.
Oh my God.
I said, if there's gonna be tears, I don't want to see you.
How you told them they couldn't cry? Why?
Because I was so happy.
So you was like, none of that.
Yeah,
we not
fuck
doing
the rest
that.
of that shit. Like,
We not doing that.
Like, don't come damper my parade.
That's crazy.
But you have to understand though, like, up until that point, everything I did in my life was, because my parents always told me this thing. They was like, listen, like, if you get a full scholarship, you could go wherever you want.
Yeah.
I don't care, as long as we don't have to pay for it. So what did I do?
You went to Wisconsin.
Right.
Out of all places. Yep.
And I did that.
I don't even think I knew where Wisconsin was.
Right, me either.
Before you went to school.
Me either.
That ass, I did.
They said, I just put University of Wisconsin because it was the furthest.
On the map? Oh.
Like, I didn't know nothing about Wisconsin. I didn't know nothing about University of Wisconsin.
I know nothing.
I just said, wow, that's the longest one. I could go there. Like, God.
Yeah.
And when I went there, that day that I got dropped off, I felt like I could be fully myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was the captain of my ship and the leader of my destiny.
Yeah. Did any part of you though feel a little bit lost in that though? Of like, did you have any moments of kind of like, okay, well, I'm also so used to being told what to do or where I should be going, what I should be looking into, that now that I have free reign, it's like, it's almost like, you know, like have those moments of kind of like, I don't know
100%.
what to do.
I think the first year that I was there was probably one of my most difficult.
Yeah.
I remember my second semester of freshman year, like, I say I remember, but I don't remember any of it. I don't remember my second semester of freshman year, and I don't remember my sophomore year, if I'm being completely honest. Just off the fact that, like, second semester of freshman year, I was in my bed. I was depressed, which is like a lot of the reason why, like, I don't remember a lot of it. But I think still though, like, being there, having to navigate it myself. Because at the end of the day, I knew I wanted to get this degree.
Yeah.
So quitting wasn't an option. So.
But changing your major was.
Okay, now let's talk about changing my major. I thought that I wanted to be pre-med. I thought I wanted to go to med school. I thought that this was the way to make everyone around me happy.
Yep.
And if I'm being completely honest with you, even when I did change it to nursing, I don't think that was necessarily what fed my soul.
Yeah.
I think it was the safest, most secure option for me.
And the closest thing too.
Exactly.
What
To
you were
where the
doing.
point where it's like I can graduate and I wouldn't have to depend on anybody.
Yeah. But so if you do it all over again, right now, you're in college, could change your major, what are you doing?
Business.
Business?
I would go to the business school.
Really?
Yeah.
But like any kind of specific sort of concentration, you just want to do like a general sort of business? Or even more so like entrepreneurship or?
I'm definitely entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
But like I'm not too familiar with like how the business arena works.
It's so funny because in all that we've ever spoken, I would have never guessed business.
No, and
Ever.
I feel like, okay, so you know how I was bedside. I was never bedside nursing. I always knew that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But from OR nursing to becoming a nurse care manager right now, like, I think the signs are clear. Like, I should have went corporate. And you can see it in my life.
I
in
remember the
general.
conversations.
Right.
I vividly remember. It was like sophomore year, right?
Yeah.
I vividly remember the conversations when you were telling me that you were switching to nursing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, so I did business. I'm like, I don't know much shit about no
Right,
nurse,
right. I don't
doctor,
know much shit
nothing.
about
I was
business.
like, right, it was such a different world that I was like, I mean, okay, I guess, like if that's
Right.
what you want to do kind of thing. But I still remember that we had those conversations of like, I think we even talked about that it wasn't really what you wanted to do either. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, especially when you grow up within the, the African culture, it's like doctor, lawyer, engineer.
What about professor?
Professor, we could talk about.
Maybe.
We can talk about. As long as it's with the PhD.
No, yeah. Of course. That's the doctor.
But I always felt like I was the one to do certain things. Like, both my sisters are teachers. My parents were teachers.
Yeah.
So, to some extent, I kind of felt like a pressure to continue or to go. And I think, like, one of the things my mom told me before she passed was like, she really hoped that one of her kids would get their doctorate.
Really?
And to this day, it sits with me, obviously, but it's also just like, to go to school, the amount of work that it takes
Yeah.
requires a level of sacrifice on your own being that, quite frankly, I don't think I'm ready to sacrifice.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I feel like you go through life being about school, when you get to a point where it's like, yo, like, I'm a person.
Before
And
school, yeah.
I love living life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I love being happy. I love, I say soft life. And soft life to some people can mean like, oh, like, it's luxurious and da-da-da-da. But soft life isn't necessarily about luxury.
Yeah.
Soft life is about peace. Like, quite frankly, like, if I'm going to, again, a very small example of what soft life is is me going to book a vacation and not having to carry my bags to my room. I went on vacation the other day. I went on vacation the other day.
This what we looking forward to.
No, for real. Because
I mean,
when I tell you, I done did the manual labor, the physical labor, I did all types of labor.
God forbid you gotta carry your own bag.
God forbid.
Oh, you're
I
on
have
vacation.
to carry my own bag. You get
Listen,
me?
if that's your soft
They
life,
they put my bags on the little cart, and they pushed the cart to my room. By the time I got to my room, my bags is there. I just say no more.
Is that not the standard? Like, what hotel do you go to and they don't do that?
Okay.
That's what I'm worried about. Cause like, why are they letting you carry your own bags to begin with?
Little thing. When I moved out of my family home, I used to get my laundry done.
Mm-hmm.
I would just drop it off and pick it up.
That's what I do.
And never in my life have I ever dropped off my laundry.
Yeah.
I was the motherfucker that was doing 5 people's laundry every Sunday.
With the cart, you took the cart? Yo, oh my God. Oh my God, one time, I'm walking to the laundry. It was like 8 o'clock. I'm with the little cart, right? And I lived on the 4th floor, so you gotta carry that shit down the
All the way
stairs.
upstairs?
I know, carrying it down, right? So I'm carrying it down, I'm going to the laundry, it's raining, so I'm trying to go fast. There's a crack in the middle of the street.
The whole shit just fell over?
No, but like I'm crossing the street.
Oh no.
It's raining, the cart flips over.
Yeah, all the clothes.
In the middle of the street.
On the streets.
Yo, not the sidewalk, like in the middle of the street. And you know how there's a countdown. So now that shit going 10, 9.
And you like.
I'm trying to pick up the clothes. And it's raining. And I had also like almost fallen with the cart. So I have like my knees are wet and scraped, like my hands, it was a mess. And then I got to the laundromat and I said, wash that, bro. I dropped it off that day. That was the first day I dropped it off. I said, I'm not doing this shit. Life is too hard.
I feel
I'm not doing it. And now I don't wash my own laundry.
The amount of times that shopping cart fell over.
You gotta go up the stairs like that, one step at a time. Like,
No, but the worst part is that you're in the middle of the street picking up all your dirty clothes.
and it's just real. At least it wasn't clean. If it was clean, I would have been more tight. Yeah, because it's raining, there's mud, like,
Right.
No, but I when you were like saying all those things, the one thing I was thinking about that like I feel like relates to me is getting my groceries delivered.
Yeah.
That is the one thing that like it's really the simple things.
It
Like
really
the
is.
older you get, bro, I'm like it really just is the simple. Like we're not that old. Catch us at 30.
Right.
We gonna see what we gonna say then. But
Do you remember the last time you had to do this for a cab?
no,
Right.
no. But like I never did that. That's only
Oh.
downtown. You call the cab bases uptown,
What you talking
or you
about?
walk to the cab bases.
No, back then, uptown.
No.
When you would stand on the side of the street and you'd be like,
No, you call the bases. You
Damn.
always had the bases, and you tell them where you at, where you going. They tell you how much it is. You pay cash.
What?
They tell you how many minutes. Yes.
Maybe that was in the Bronx for real, because we would be at in the fucking street talk about
Whistling and
Right.
shit. No, I was like, you only see that downtown, like for the yellow cabs. The yellow cabs never went uptown.
What?
We wasn't taking those. I remember when Uber first came out. We was in high school.
Yeah.
I used to take Ubers to the high school for $2.
Get the fuck out of here.
It was when they had Uber Share or whatever it was,
Oh,
Uber Pool.
yeah.
But I used to take it for $2 because it was cheaper than the train.
Wait, from your house to the
From my house to the college,
Oh, yeah, that is cheaper.
$2. You'd be in there with like 4 people in the morning, but like,
But that was
yo, it'd be like a mom with her 2 kids like on their laps, like
But
right
you was
next
getting-
to you.
You was getting the Metro card though. The green
I was
Metro
getting the
card.
Metro card. I was getting the Metro card, but the train was beneath me.
Oh.
I had to.
Okay, now let's talk about that, because now that I have gotten to the point
No.
where
You.
you dragged it. You dragged it.
Actually like that. I deadass take the train like every day. I take the train every single day.
You dragged it. No, because
No,
I
you're
just
actually
feel
like
like I did my time. I I did my time. Like,
What time?
on the MTA.
You act like it was prison. Like, what you mean?
Are you trying to tell me it's not?
No,
Okay.
it's not. I pay to go there. How was your bathroom break?
Great. No,
Okay, so
honestly, I really want to look at grad school. I know we've talked about it a lot, and I've been advised against it severally.
I didn't advise against it.
Not just you.
Oh,
is
I
what
was
I'm saying.
gonna say,
Not
I'm
just
like,
you.
I'm real biased. I have my
I just
own
believe
experience.
that, like, granted, like, I probably would detest the idea of being back in school again. But I also think I want to do like a dual MBA informatics situation because I work with electronic health records right now, and let me tell you, they frustrate.
But is that what you want to keep doing?
No.
So, but then that's the thing, that it's like, why try to further your education in something that you already have decided you don't want to do?
I feel like it's always been like a really big kind of like difference for me in terms of like the things that I feel like I'm supposed to do versus the things that I genuinely wanted to do. I feel like I don't think I really found those out until within the last year, to be honest. So with that, like, I really enjoy photography, videography, like
That's
coming
so
up
far
with
from
ideas.
nursing.
It is. It's so far from nursing. Like, I wish I had this understanding of myself back then, because I'll talk to people who took film classes as a minor during undergrad, and I beat myself up because I was like, I had so much opportunity. I had so much opportunity that I did not take advantage of.
You can't do that though.
I know, but if I could go back today and give one piece of advice to myself, it would be to like focus on the things that aren't the standard.
That bring your heart joy.
Exactly.
That set your soul on fire. That's what I be telling people. I'm like, if you weren't getting paid for it, what is something that you'd still be willing to do? Like, it's always food for thought, because I feel like it's like, once you find that, do that wholeheartedly, you know what I mean? Yeah, and it's like everything else will follow once you find that passion. It's so much easier said than done.
100%.
So much easier.
100%.
And bills are not paid off of passion.
You know,
like,
Con Edison is due every month.
He coming back. I swear he knocking on the door. Like, no, for real. But there's something so, again, just priceless about that feeling. Like, it's hard to follow that path. And I think especially being like first generation or children of immigrants, because so much of your parents' dreams rely on you and your successes and fall on your shoulders, that it's kind of
can
like...
we also include your income?
Yeah, 100%. But I think a lot of times success is your income.
Yeah.
Especially like for, you know, our parents in those situations. A lot of it is like your success is based off of how much you're making. It's not about how happy you are. You know, and like that's the one thing that like I could say with my mom, that I remember like when I was younger, she would tell me like, I want a happy child over a smart child. Like, it doesn't matter if you get straight A's. At the end of the day, I want to make sure that you're okay, like you're happy, you're good. And like even when I went to our freshman year, when we were going to like, I went with her to like different college visits and stuff to see. And a lot of the schools I wanted to go to were private schools, and they were very expensive, and we could not afford them at all. So I remember one time we went to the financial aid office, and I just sat there and cried when they were telling us how much it cost. Like, I just cried. I was like, we can't afford this. Like, I love it here so much, but we can't afford this. Like, I can't come here. And she sat me down and she was like, listen, if this is what you want to do, then this is what we're going to do. Like, it's an investment regardless. Like, at the end of the day, I want you to be happy. I want you to follow your dreams. And if this is where you want to be, we will figure it out. Do I got student loans right now? Yup.
Yeah.
Am I in debt to a certain extent?
Let's talk about...
But it's still an investment. It definitely,
Exactly.
Yeah. And she was willing to take that chance on me, which meant so much.
Like,
At this
honestly,
point.
are you really successful in this country without being in debt?
I swear to God. I swear to God. And it's like, we're going to pay him off at some point. Like,
But I understand. I definitely understand. I love that. I love the fact that the priority was. I think that honestly was a really big struggle. I remember the day that I decided to tell my mom that I didn't want to do pre-med. I was literally like, I was in tears. I was in tears. And I was just like, I know this is not going to make me happy. Like,
You could feel it.
yeah.
It's literally a feeling.
And I'm just super grateful that she was receptive to that. Mm-hmm. Now, was the next decision to go to nursing, was it the best decision?
At the time, I think, yeah, like give yourself grace also though that like.
At the time and
Yeah.
presently.
But also I think even just with the information that you had at the time, who you were at that time, what you felt, you know, the resources you had, like that was the right
best
decision. Yeah, like so it's also like you can't beat yourself up on like some what if or like I should have done this differently. At that time, who you were in that moment.
I tell myself this was always the plan because in my head during undergrad it was like, how can I get myself to the place where I can support myself to do the things that I want to do? Mm-hmm. And quite frankly, this was the route.
Yeah.
Like, and it has been supporting me
It
to
gave
do
you
the
the stability
things
you
that
needed. Yeah.
I wanted to do, like photography. Within the last year, my photography skills have fucking, I don't know what's the word, like transformed. Like, I come up with ideas, I'm confident in my ideas, and I can execute the ideas. Now, is photography still an area where I need to learn a lot in? Yeah, 100%, but do I feel confident to take leaps within this industry? 100%. Like,
But then so what's in the future? What's to come?
the future is honestly...
It's real bright.
It's bright.
It's
It's
real
bright as
bright.
fuck. All right, you know what I'm saying? You can't see? Right.
It's
It's me. It's me. No, but like future-wise, and I tell my girlfriend this all the time, like, and as much as cocky as it sounds, like,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be a fucking superstar.
I know that's right.
I know it. I believe it in
Yup.
my core.
Like for myself, it's not a vision, it's more of like that feeling. It's like an overwhelming feeling. Like I'll be calling my mom like, yo, how does it feel to know you gave birth to a millionaire? Like, how do you feel about that? And like, I am not a millionaire, you know what I mean? But like, I know that that's like what I'm destined. I have that feeling in me. I've always had that feeling of like, I know I'm meant to do something great, but for me, it isn't exactly a vision.
You know what funny thing is?
But
Like, to this day, I'll spend money like I'm a millionaire. Like I will pretend, I will embody a millionaire.
all right, don't just, we still gotta save budget.
We still got to,
you know what I mean? But,
And I feel like that's the part where, you know what I'm
you
saying?
know,
But
2023, that's what we're talking
2023.
about.
But honestly, like, I feel it in my soul, I feel it in my gut, I feel it in my being, like, I'm supposed to be out here, like,
It's meant to happen.
when I think about it, and I hate this, I hate that this is a correlation. But, okay, so my girlfriend, she watches the Kardashians a lot.
Okay.
And growing up, like, I watched the Kardashians because of the lifestyle. I feel like their lifestyle really inspired me to just like, wow, like, I could do this. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like when she watches it, I watch it because I know that like the lifestyle that they live in is really nothing to what I'm about to start doing.
I'm not gonna hold you. I never heard that before.
And you heard it here today. You heard it here today. And I love that. I really do. Like, and it's funny too because at the same time I'm also a very like private and like, you know, if you know kind of person.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've
You're
had a lot
so
of
out the
conversations.
scene. That's why I'm like, you don't even leave your house.
I
Like,
don't. Which I think would be perfect for when I get famous.
yeah, because the paparazzi gonna be outside. See me though. I never want to be famous. I just
Okay.
want the money that comes with
Agreed.
fame. Like I just want to be rich. I do not dream of paparazzi. I do not dream of being known. No, like I really do not want to go to the supermarket and have people know who I am. You know what I mean? Like that's not what I
understand that.
aspire
I understand that.
to be, but I feel like for me, when I get that feeling of like I'm meant to be great, I'm meant to do really big things, a lot of it is doing things that others haven't done before so that those who come after me are able to do it much easier and faster. It feels like a lot has been put on my shoulders by myself or whoever it might be, but like a lot has been put on my shoulders to walk this path so that other little black girls, little Hispanic,
come after
Latinx
you.
girls who come after me
Right.
can look up and say, she did it, I could do it too. She came from the hood, me too, I could do it.
I'm a butterfly.